We have a 2-point stance. It's exactly what it sounds like. It just means 2 points of contact running a linear sprint here. The first thing to note, and even though we don't have a line here, is to make sure that your front foot is as close to that line as possible, because that is going to be your furthest point of contact on the ground. The second thing is that your stance doesn't need to be too wide. If I take one of my feet as my length here, that should be the furthest my stance needs to be. If you take too wide of a stance, this back leg will have more weight on it, and most of your power should come from the front leg out of your stance. So you want to be a little bit closer than what's comfortable. So after I get my stance, you also need to make sure it is hip width. Don't be on a tightrope, and you're not doing a sumo squat either. So after we have our stance, you are then going to bend to an uncomfortable amount of bend. So much so that this front heel comes off the ground. Not because I am lifting, but because this ankle is bent as much as it can be. Notice this knee is also out in front of the toes. You'll probably notice I'm shaking a little bit. This is an uncomfortable position. In addition to that bend in the knee and the ankle, your torso should be very far forward. You should have as much forward momentum from your starting stance as possible. That way you can maintain a good low position through the drive phase. So after I get that stance and that bend, I'm simply going to get my arms set. So the opposite arm will be forward, the other arm will be back to an extensive amount, a really uncomfortable amount here. Think about stretching out a band as far as it can go. That's what you're trying to do with your body here. Out of this position, I'm going to initiate movement with the back leg. It's just a jump start. It's just a kickstand. It's to get my momentum and my weight over the front leg. As soon as that knee extends, it will then drive forward, just like your A-skips, just like all your acceleration pattern work. Then the front leg will extend, and that, again, that is where most of your power will come from. Boom, boom. Out of this 2-point stance, you're then just going into a normal sprint. There shouldn't be a lot of thought process through the acceleration phase. When you are running at max speed, your only thought should really be run fast. So at full speed, this is what it should look like.